Hey folks, good to see you today. It is time for another edition of Live Video Live. This is number 9. Today is January 4th, 2017. And I wanted to talk about Snapchat and getting started just from scratch. So we're just going to cover some basics. This is just going to be a 5 or 10 minute video to kind of give you the basics so that if you've been apprehensive about getting started with Snapchat, you can figure it out and be off and running very quickly with the assistance of this video. I didn't learn how to use Snapchat from any sort of instructional video or anything. I just jumped right in and figured it out. It is counterintuitive, but you know, once you figure it out, you find that it is actually brilliantly set up and it makes sense for creating quick and fun to consume and fun to create content in a matter of seconds and get it posted for the world to see. So I know that a lot of people that I've talked to in the past have said that they never really got started with Snapchat because it's counterintuitive, it doesn't make sense, they can't figure out what to do next. Okay, I'm going to make that very quick and easy and painless today. So I'm going to have to focus to the right of the camera quite a bit because I am going to be showing you this off an iPad, and you're going to have an image on the screen there with me, and so you're going to learn as I work it. We will probably get some pixelation during this. For whatever reason, Wirecast likes to give pixelation with moving screens, but we'll do the best we can with it. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing is you need to put Snapchat on your mobile device. It does have to be on a mobile device. You can't use Snapchat from your laptop, so you're going to have to use a tablet of some sort, like an iPad or your phone. No, the old flip phones won't work. Sorry, it's got to be a smartphone. It's got to be an iPhone or an Android. Or whatever else there is. I know there's some other ones. Okay, so the first thing is, if you haven't, we're just going to presume you have Apple products, but I think that Android has their store, so it's kind of the same thing. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to whatever store serves your phone. And let me see here. Let me get this going here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let me back out of that real quick. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to be on your main screen, okay? And I'm going to adjust this a little bit just to make it a little nicer. Line it up with the icon at the top. So there we go. Okay, so you're going to go to the store, and what you're going to find is, I did a search for Snapchat already, and what you're going to find is that you get garbage, at least in the iTunes store. You don't get the Snapchat app, okay? It's not there. And if it's there, it's buried. I get all this other stupid stuff first. So I'm going to back up. If I haven't put this on my mobile device yet, I would rather just go to Safari and do a Google search for Snapchat. And when you do a Google search for Snapchat, and you can do this with Instagram, you can do this with Facebook, you can do this pretty much with any of the popular apps. If you see over there on the right, it says free next to where it says apps. Apps, it gives the name of Snapchat, and it gives a little a little blurb about what Snapchat is, and over to the side it says free. Okay, you can push that button free, and it will download right from the internet browser. So I'm not going to do that because I already have Snapchat on my mobile device. Now, when you download it, you're going to have to set it up. You're going to start with a new account. I'm not going to walk through this right now, mainly because you have to have either a phone number or an email account set up for each individual Snapchat account, because you can't get multiple accounts with the same email or the same phone number. And I didn't want to jump through all the hoops today to do all that. So you're going to have to, just start from scratch without me. Sign up. It's going to take you through a few prompts. It's no big deal. They're going to send you either a text to your cell phone, or they're going to send you an email to your email address where you're going to confirm it, but you're going to be off and running. Okay, so when you first log into Snapchat, after you've jumped through the little hoops and setting up, you're going to be presented with the home screen, okay? Your Snapchat will always open up to this home screen. Always, always, always. And the reason they do this is they want you to be able to pull your phone or mobile device out of your pocket, hit the Snapchat icon to go into Snapchat, and immediately hit that big round button in the middle of the bottom of the screen. Okay, that is the record or take a picture button. not the little button below. The little button's something entirely different. I think the little button below is something for a different video. You don't be worried about that. So from this screen, you can go several places, okay? But this screen, basically, at the top left, you have your flash button, and I can toggle it. The flash is on right now. When you don't have the when you have the lightning bolt without the little X beside it, and the flash is off when you have the lightning bolt with the X beside it. The button on the top right is the camera orientation. Which direction is the camera facing? It's either facing me out of the front side of the camera, the side with the screen, or it's facing the other direction, which right now it's pointing towards a wall. And Wirecast will catch up. There we go. Okay, so normally you're going to be facing the screen. Okay, it's kind of a it's kind of a vanity. It's like a mirror. I mean, it's you know, you want to be able to look and see what it is you're filming. Okay. We all want to do that. It's kind of like a confidence thing. We like to be able to see what's going on. I have the same problem. When I'm working with Wirecast, I like to look down at my laptop instead of looking directly into the camera, which is looking at you. Even though my eyes are only a few inches away where they're pointing, it's obvious to the viewer. So anyway, look, we're on the main screen. So I've showed you how to orient the camera backwards and forwards. I've showed you how to do turn on the flash. The gold ghost in the center lets me know that somebody new is following my account. This is my Todd.LIVE account. If you go on Snapchat and type in the search field to find somebody, Todd.LIVE, and that's a period, not DOT, for those of you out there who want to be cute, you will find me and you're welcome to follow. So that's an indicator. When no one's followed me and I've logged in, that's not lit up yellow the way it is now. In the bottom right, there's the word chat. That takes you to the private messaging system. And you can get to the private messaging system several ways. The button on the right bottom says stories with the purple on it. When it's lit up purple, that means there's stories I haven't seen yet. The only time that's ever not lit up purple is when there's things that I haven't viewed yet, or things I haven't already been alerted to when I've gone into the stories feature. So you can push the chat button on the bottom left and it will take you to the private messaging area. You can push the stories button on the bottom right and it will take you to the stories area. But you can also swipe left and right. It's much quicker to swipe left and right. If you swipe from the left side to the right side of the screen, you're going to go to the private messaging area. And the names that you see listed there are in order of the last time you contacted that person or they contacted you. So Kayla was the last person and Christine Costa was second to last. I don't do a lot of work on this. This is my Todd.LIVE account, and I'm going to be using it more heavily as the 2017 progresses. But I haven't used it very much so far, so those are really the only two people that I've talked to. Now, when you add somebody new to your list, when you follow somebody new, it will put them at the top of this list. So it's not technically who's the last person you talk to. It could be who's the last person you've talked to, or who's the last person that you've chosen to follow. Now, to leave the screen, I simply swipe from left to right, and I go back to the home screen. If I do that again, I can swipe left to right again, and it takes me to the stories feature. I'm sorry, right to left. It takes me to the stories feature. At the top, it'll say My Story, and I can tap that button up there to add a snap. And I can also tap the little gear button, and that toggles who can see my story. It says everyone, my friends, or you can customize it and select people. I just leave it at everyone. Snapchat is a discovery tool. I want people to be able to find me. I want people to be able to consume my content and to follow along if they choose. The content that I create is for everybody. It's not private content. It's not heavily edited, and it's not scripted. And quite often there's bloopers and things, but that's the way it is. I want everyone to be able to find it. So I'm going to swipe from left to right across my screen again to go back to my home screen. Okay, from the home screen, you can also swipe from bottom to top. And it's going to want to access your photos, okay, and your camera roll and whatnot. That, the memory section, I'm going to save that for a discussion for a later date. You need not worry about the memory section for getting started in Snapchat. The memory section is a discussion all on its own, so don't even worry about that. You don't even need it. In fact, for the most of 2016, that feature didn't even exist, or it didn't exist on my radar if it existed at all, but I don't think it existed. So don't even worry about that right now. We'll talk about that another day. Okay, so the ghost at the top, we want to see who's added me as a friend, and also all the other housekeeping and account settings and preferences that you can, and setting up your account is all done by swiping from the top of the home screen down to the bottom. So let's do that. Okay, so when you get there, you see it's called a Boo R code, B-O-O capital R, like ghost, Boo R. And a lot of people just call it the Snapchat code. That code is something that if somebody takes a picture with it on their camera with their cell phone, they can go into Snapchat and they can add you, and that'll be a video for another day. So I've had 2 people add me. Not a whole lot of action here, so let's see who added me. Just 2 people up there, no big deal. I'm going to go back to the screen where we can do all of our preferences and whatnot. So anyway, you see here we have my name, and my account name is Todd.LIVE. You can probably find me in the search feature by typing either Todd Bergen or Todd.LIVE, but Todd.LIVE is a lot easier. 34 is my Snapchat score. Obviously, I'm not doing a lot of snapping with this account. The account that I started in 2016 is pushing 9,000. This has 34. That score really doesn't mean much, and the only people that can see your score are people that you follow and they follow you. If or that they follow you. They don't, that's not necessary that you follow them. So if I follow, let's say I follow Joel Com. If I follow Joel Com and he's not following me back, I can't see his score. But if he decides to follow me later, I can see his score. That's one little secret where you can tell who's following you on Snapchat and who isn't. And Snapchat doesn't make it very easy for you to know who's following you, okay? They really don't want the emphasis to be on how many followers you have and who's following you and who's not. And if someone unfollows you, you're going to run and unfollow them. They're trying to avoid that game. That bullshit exists on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and that kind of stuff. Snapchat really doesn't want that. So you really can't get absorbed in Snapchat with who's following you and who isn't, although there are ways of telling who's following you, and that's one of them. So we've already talked about the added me button. That's all that you can really do with the added me, is go in there and see who has added you. Everybody in this list has added me. As you can see here in a minute, all those buttons to the side that say add, that means I haven't added them. And I don't add a lot of people. There's way too many people on Snapchat to add everybody. I did originally, and Snapchat has a maximum of 6,000 people that you can follow. So I decided that I wasn't following everyone that was following me anymore, and I went back and I cleaned out everybody who I wasn't interested in seeing their stuff on a regular basis. I went in and cleaned it out. And yeah, I think that kind of sucks. If I could follow on Snapchat 2 million people, I'd follow everyone back. But I'm not going to, because there is a limit. Not only that, when you follow too many people, and I'll show you this real quick, going back to the stories page. So I'm going to swipe down and I'm going to swipe from right to left. When you go back to my stories page, you have a list of people that you're following. These are all their stories, and it takes a minute for Wirecast to catch up. These are all the people that I follow, and these are all the stories they've created. And inside their if I click $1 Million Matt, if he's posted 10 snaps, it's going to play all 10, going from oldest to newest, so I can see it the way he intended for me to see it. Now, if I follow 6,000 people, I'm going to have this amazingly huge list of people to try to find. Like, let's say I only have time for 5 people each day. Then it's hard for me to find them in this list. And there is a way around that. There's a search feature at the top. So if I want to find my other account, I can find it. I can type my name in and look at that. It's going to start showing anyone named Todd. And there's my other account. And if I click it, it's going to play. I think there's only one snap on this account today. It's when I got on the treadmill. And it's going to play it. And when it ends and takes me right back to the story screen. And note that it doesn't tell you all the people that, it doesn't show you all the people that I'm following, because it still has the word Todd in the search feature. So if I hit that little X to the side, it goes back to where it shows all the people in the stories that that I'm following that I haven't watched their content yet. So I'm going to swipe from left to right, and I'm going to swipe from top to bottom, and I'm going to go back to that screen we were working on where we're going to set up the account and do a few things. So this is pretty cool. You want to set up your QR code. You want a picture, and right now my picture is of a bookshelf, and it's actually 5 pictures all taken very quickly, and that's why the screen jitters. So I'll show you what you do. You just simply press that button right in the center of the ghost, and look what happens. It goes to a big screen where you have a button at the bottom, you have a redo button on the bottom right, you have a save button on the bottom left, you have a save to your phone button at the top, and you have a question mark over on the side on the right. That question mark just basically tells you how to work this screen. It's very, very easy, and it allows you to create a customized avatar, a customized picture within your ghost. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't do this, but it shows you how to do it, and it's easy. So you swipe down from that little demo screen, and you go back into your QR code. You press right on the QR code, and right there you are. Let's see. It takes a minute. There you go. Okay, so let's say I want to save this to my phone, top left. I can save it directly to my phone right there. Just press it once, and that image will save to my phone, and then I can text it to anyone I want to text it to. I can email it. I can add it to notes. I can put it in my iCloud. I can save it. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to cancel because I don't want to do any of that. Okay, so we have a couple other features. One, we have the, let's see, the button on the right. Let's see. Oh, the button on the right, I can remove the existing profile picture. I just pressed it. Okay, I can remove it if I'd like, and I'm going to go ahead and remove it just for the sake of doing it. And what does it do? It takes me right back to a blank ghost. Okay, now everyone's going to see that now. When they look at my account, people are going to see a blank ghost. Okay, but I don't like that. I'd rather personalize it a little bit so that people that they stumble upon me, they at least there's some sort of personality to it. So I'm going to push that ghost again. And if you notice, if I've given permissions to the camera, you're going to see my image in the middle of that ghost. Look at that. It's going to be pixelated. I apologize. Okay, so I want to record. It's going to take 5 fast pictures of me, and I'm going to record that right now by pushing that big button in the center. Boom. It's going to ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now look what I have. It's not a very good one. I think on watching it on this video, it's kind of pixelated and messed up, but I'm going to save it anyway. Although, let's say I want to redo it. There's that bottom right button. If I want to redo it, I can trash that. I can remove it again, just like I did before. Okay? And tell you what I'm going to do. I have Snapchat spectacles. They're kind of corny looking, but I'm going to use them for my QR code. So just bear with me for a moment. This will let people know that I have spectacles. Okay, so I'm going in. I'm going to do it really fast. I'm going to push that button again, and I'm going to let it take 5 pictures of me really quick, and I'm going to sit very, very still while it does it. Okay, so the last one, I turned my head intentionally so that at least you could see as you watch it on the screen there that each of the 5 pictures, if there's movement there, it's going to create a little slideshow that's kind of sped up just a little bit so that it creates a sort of an animation. So I'm going to put this away, and by the way, this is a discussion for another day, but Snapchat spectacles, they're great. Okay, so I'm going to save that. So I'm going to push the little button that points to the right, or I'm sorry, to the left, and then it's going to take me back to the main screen that we were at. And look at there, I have my avatar. Now, everybody that finds me on Snapchat is going to see that avatar. Okay, so if you want to add friends, that's another thing you can do here. You can add friends. You can add by username. So like if you know my name is Todd.LIVE, go in and try it. Type in Todd.LIVE, and you will be able to find me. I won't be in your contacts list, but if you have a phone that's full of friends and family that you have in your contacts, and any of them are using Snapchat, you're going to be able to add them through that button that says Add from Contacts. Add from Snap Code. That's what I was talking about a minute ago. If I save my own Snap Code to my phone, I can try to add myself by Snap Code. And my phone, what it'll do is it'll open up my camera roll, and I'll select the picture that has the that has the QR code in it, and Snapchat will scan it and will add me just by that. You can add nearby, so if there's other people in the room with you that have Snapchat, you can add people that are nearby, and then you can also share your username with other people. And I don't know that I've ever done that, but it basically takes you to your messaging system, your email, and that sort of a thing, your notes. I'm not going to do that right now. Quick ad. I have mutual friends with Katie S. Miller. I'm going to find out who she is before I add her, but that's kind of interesting that since we have mutual friends, Snapchat is putting her out there as somebody who I might be interested in watching on Snapchat and connecting with. Okay, so going back to the main screen. So the top right is a gear button. Oh, well, let's do the middle. That's kind of fun. The top middle is your trophy case. As you unlock various features on your phone, you'll pass certain milestones. Okay, so I think I created my first snap, and that gave me the eyeballs. I might be wrong. I might have taken my first picture. I don't remember. The E with the envelope means that I've confirmed my email account. I'm certain that one of these other locks is for confirming my telephone number. I don't have a different phone number for this account than my original account, which uses my cell phone number, so I probably will never unlock that. And there's a bunch of trophies here to unlock, and you can find them. I think Huffington Post did an article on what all the trophies are, so if you want to make it your mission to unlock them all. The thing is no one else can see your trophies. It's only for you, so it's actually kind of more fun to not even worry about trophies. And every once in a while, when you go into the main screen here, that trophy will be lit up with gold around it, just like the ghost was lit up on the home screen when I had people that had followed me. And it's fun when that thing's lit up and you don't even realize what you've done, and you go in there and you touch it and you find out that you've now sent, privately, say 10 picture snaps to people. And just so you know, every piece of content you create on Snapchat is indeed a snap. It can be a photo and it can be a video. The videos can last up to 10 seconds and can be as short as 1 second, or probably even faster than that. The photos, you can have them displayed for your friends and family for up to 10 seconds, but no less than 1 second. So you can speed up and slow down the rate at which these things are published and broadcast to somebody when they're watching your content. And I'll show you that in a minute. So anyway, the trophy case, it really means nothing. It's just there. If other people could see it, maybe it would mean something, but it's just there. Then the last thing, I guess, on this screen, before we go into the gear symbol, is the horoscope symbol. If you've given Snapchat your birthday, they put that little symbol there next to your name to tell people, give them an idea of what time of year you were born. Snapchat doesn't share your birth date with the world, but if it is indeed your birthday, there are special snap filters available for you to use that show people that it's your birthday. In addition to, if you allow Snapchat to let other people know that it's your birthday, next to your name will be a little cake icon or a birthday candle, something letting people know that it is your birthday, so it might entice them to send you a private message telling you that a happy birthday, or even talking about your birthday in their feed and notifying you of the fact that they've done that. That's conversation for another day, but just know that if you decide to share your birthday with Snapchat, there's some special features involved there. Okay, so we're going to go to that gear button, and it does indeed have my birthday. I don't care if you know my birthday or not, and my email account. I had to create a special email account just for this one. Don't send anything to that email because you're not going to get a response. As far as I'm concerned, that email is dead. It doesn't have my mobile number because I haven't plugged in a mobile number. If you want to send me a present on October 11th, you're welcome to. My username is Todd.LIVE. And so anyway, this is where you handle all of the features of your account, okay? I'm not going to go over each and every one of these in this video. I probably will do a video specific to manipulating the settings in your Snapchat to make it to where Snapchat runs the best. For this video, let me see here. What would I want to maybe tell you about? Notifications. I turn off notifications completely. I don't want my phone buzzing every time I get a snap or this or that on somebody follows me. So I turn off notifications. Let me see here. Manage preferences. I do turn on the filters. I know that the screen on Facebook and through my Wirecast is a little slow. I do turn on filters, and I turn off travel mode. Snapchat is a battery and data hog, okay? It uses a lot of information because it's video, okay? And even if you're not using it, it's running in some capacity or another if you don't turn off travel mode. So I turn off travel mode. So if I am not using Snapchat, it's not supposed to be running. Friend emojis. That just tells you, you can, this is a discussion for another day. There's really nothing to do here. The permissions, I turn off my notifications, so I'm always going to get an exclamation point, on that. But, you know, you can go through your permissions and decide what you want to turn on and turn off. That's not a big deal. Going back to the main settings page, contact me. I want everyone to be able to contact me. Okay. There's very little spam on Snapchat, and you can block it very, very easily. If people send you unsolicited private messages, you can block them in an instant, and you'll never see or hear from them again unless they create another account, and then you just do it again. And quite honestly, I probably block about 2 or 3 people every single day lately. It's been a little more than it used to be, but it's not much, and it's usually young people who just they're sending me private messages letting me know that to follow one of their buddies or something stupid, and they have no business sending that to me privately. I don't know who they are. Why would I want to follow them? So I just go ahead and block them. I don't even care. Okay, there's enough people out there in the Snapchat world that blocking 2 or 3 people a day, which means 600 or 700 people a year, oh well, tough luck. Okay, view my story. I've already talked about that. I want everyone to be able to view my story. There's all the support, privacy policy, all that. You might want to go through that. You can, let's see, there's not much else to really see here. You have a blocked list. Look at that. I have a block list. And I don't know how many people are in there. There's a lot. For an account that I don't even use, there's a lot of people blocked on my account. And you can unblock them. But that X over to the side, if you want to hit it, you can unblock somebody if you change your mind. Okay, so we're going to back out of settings and go back into the main area that we were talking about. Not the home screen. This is, I don't even know really what this is called. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, it's the account screen, I guess. It's where you can manage your account. So from here, you can go from, oh, there is a button down below, that big round button at the bottom. That merely takes you back to the home screen. So if I push it, it simply takes me back to the home screen. I could have also just swiped the screen from bottom to top. That would have done the same thing, okay? So let's create a picture really fast, okay? Because we're getting towards the end of this video. It's gone much longer than I thought it would. Wow, it's gone on almost a half hour. I thought it'd be a 5 or 10 minute video. I just wanted to get you started on Snapchat. But you know what? We've covered a lot of the basics, a lot of the things that you need to set up to comfortably start running this without it being a nightmare, okay? We will talk about, remember, if I swipe left to right, we go into the private messaging area. We will talk about that in another video. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on Snapchat here in the future. We'll talk about that later. So going back to the home screen, and I know Wirecast is going to take a minute to catch up. Sorry about that. So when we go back to the home screen, we've talked about everything on the home screen except for the big button in the middle. That is the button that you record or you take a picture with, okay? Now, pro tip. I think this works on the Android, but I know it works on the iPhone. Your volume buttons on the side of the device will also work this button in the middle. So that allows you to get your fingers out of the screen so you can actually see the screen while you're recording, and you can, more importantly, you can see that button. And as you watch in a minute, that button fills up with red as I record and as I run out of time. And it's important to see that. So using the volume buttons on the side of your phone is a helpful feature. Also, if you're wearing a headset with headbuds with the little buttons on that somewhere down on the, you know, between the earbuds and the where it the jack into the phone, if you've got the volume control on that headset, I know the Apple brand headset will work this button also. So Okay, so I'm going to push this button right now one time and create a picture. Okay, I've got to use the location. I'm going to allow it to use the location. You'll see there I get a prompt. And that way I can use filters, okay? It's going to take Wirecast just a moment to catch up with me here. Okay, so there it is. There's the prompt. So I'm going to allow it. So the filters, you will get some filters if you don't allow them to use your location, but you're not going to get the geo filters, things that are unique to where you are on the planet. Snapchat has a system where it detects where you are on the planet and provides specific geo filters based on where you are. So let's say that you're at a Dodgers game. There might be a Dodgers specific filter, or if you're at a Lakers game, or if you're on top of Mount Everest, which you're not going to get a signal there. But if you did, Snapchat would have a filter that was specific to the top of Mount Everest so that only people on the top of Mount Everest would ever get to use that filter. So how you use the filter, okay, I've taken a picture and you see that it is a still frame. That allows me to manipulate this picture in any way that I want to create content before sending it on to my post, or to my storyline. Okay, so let's go over this really quick. The X in the top left basically trashes the picture. We're not going to do that, okay? Let's go to the bottom because those things are a little bit quicker to get through. So let's get through them. The timer allows me to set the time that my picture will display when somebody watches my Snap content. Generally with pictures, if it's just a selfie like this, I'm going to make it display for 1 or 2 seconds. It's going to be that fast that somebody sees it and their brain interprets the information and they can move on. If my picture has a bunch of writing in it, or if it's a really unique picture that is of something gorgeous, I may set it at 6. Or if I create some sort of a picture in Photoshop that's full of text and messages that I want my people to read, I may go and put it on 10 seconds. But you have to choose between 1 and 10. I'm going to put it on 2 seconds, and then I just have to touch anywhere outside that timer, and it will leave it, and you see at the bottom it says 2 inside the timer, okay? The button to the right of the timer is Save. That will save this picture right to my mobile device, so I will do that. Oh, I'm not going to do that because I have to enter a passcode, and I don't want to do that right now while I'm broadcasting and put my passcode in. But once you put your passcode in, it will save that picture to your memories and to your phone. The button to the right of that that says a story with a plus symbol in it, that will send this picture directly to your story without any other prompts. So if you're creating a story that's 5 or 7 snaps in a row, let me see what's going on here. You can send it directly to your story very quickly so that you can keep your content flowing, because a lot of the times people start watching your content, and if you're being really slow while you're creating it, they're going to watch it faster than you're creating it, and then they're going to go somewhere else and they're not going to see the end. So you want to create your content very quickly and post it just as fast as you can. Another little insider tip, you can set your phone to airplane mode before you start a story. Let's say you have a story and you're going to create, it's going to be like 10 snaps long, and there's going to be a few features and enhancements that you're going to add to it. And you want to make sure that whoever starts watching the story watches all 10 snaps. You can go and put your phone in airplane mode, come back into Snapchat, start recording everything you want to record, and it will try to send it, but it won't go anywhere. Then when you're finished and you're happy with everything, you can go back into, turn your airplane mode off, and then you can come back into Snapchat, and it'll say failed to send on all your snaps. You can, in your storyline, you can tap them, and it will resend them in the order in which you created them. Now, the one thing is if you create a bunch of snaps like that and then you forget to go in and resend them, when you do go in and resend them, it's going to post them at the same time in the timeline with everyone else's as when their content posted. So if it was 4 hours ago, you're not going to be at the top as if it was something that was posted 2 seconds ago. So that's one of the things about Snapchat is you want to post regularly, because that bumps your stories to the top of someone else's story list with all the other people. So it's imperative if you want to be seen and build your account and resonate with people that you post often. So anyway, the blue button that says send to, if I push that, it allows me to choose where I want to send it. Your story is your collection of stories from the last 24 hours. And when people watch it, they watch it from the oldest to the newest snap. So whatever you create goes on top of all the other stuff. And anybody who starts watching, if they tune out and come back later, it starts where they left off. And it's really nice. You don't have to get all concerned about what order you produce content. Just produce content and Snapchat figures that out for you. So I can choose to select my story, and if I touch that circle beside my story, it selects that. But I can also, I can select my story. Oh, I got to enter the passcode again, and I'm not going to do that. So I can select my story, but then I can also select individuals that I want to send it to privately and directly. I don't ever do that. I think it's rude to do that. If let's say that guy at the top of the list, Dan, let's say that I talk about something I saw on Dan's story in my story, then I might send it to him so he's alerted to the fact that I've talked about his story in my story. But I think it's very rude to send people content individually and privately that you're sending to your story. What if Dan has no interest in my content? Then he doesn't need to be alerted privately that I sent it to him privately. So those people get blocked by me. So Dan, if I send it to him privately, he might choose to block me for sending it to him, because why does he care what's in my story if it doesn't concern him personally? If he wants to watch my content and it's of concern to him, he's going to make the choice to consume my content without me having to send it to him privately. So I'm not going to send it anywhere right now. Let's go back. So the button at the top right of the top left of the screen will take me right back to the home page. And what you'll see is that my picture is still there waiting for me for certain edits. Okay. Now, I'm not going to talk about the scissors feature right now. The scissors feature allows you to cut out images on the photo. Like I could cut my face out right there and save it as a decal. I'm not going to, this video has gone on too long. I'll do another video for that. We're going to talk about the drawing feature, the text feature, and the decal feature really fast. And we're going to talk about the filters, and then I'm going to end the video because I've gone much longer than I thought. So let's talk about filters first. So I talked about filters. We have the geo filter. I allowed, if you remember, my device to know where I'm at. So when I swipe left to right on a picture, it will show the first geo filter. It says Irvine, California. I am in right now Irvine, California. That's why I got that geo filter. If I was in New York City, I would have a New York City geo filter. Most towns and municipalities have multiple geo filters that are always in existence that let you know, and you can add them to your picture. So when you send it to your story, that picture is there. That filter is over top of your image. You can also do other things like add the time. And as you see right now, it's 1:32 p.m. I'm in California. If I touch the time, it'll give me the date in numbers there. And if I touch it one more time, it'll give me the date again in a more bolded format. That's the format I like whenever I'm using the date. And then I can press it a third time and get back to or the fourth time maybe it was, and get back to the time. But if I don't want to use the time, I swipe again, left to right. There's my altitude. You have your temperature. If you touch the temperature, it'll also give a forecast. If I choose to leave any of this stuff there and send this snap to my story, this image will be over top of my image in the story. And people like to put this stuff in their content and use it. You also have Celsius, and you have all the different Celsius forecasts. It's great. People love to include this. If it's a freezing day and it's -10, you want people to know that, so you create content and you show the temperature where you're at. Okay? You've got a speed dial. If you're going, I've seen people on planes that are using Wi-Fi on a plane, and it shows 550 miles an hour or whatever. I mean, it's awesome. So you can show people how fast you're traveling. And then you've got some other filters that just change the colors, like black and white. And it'll change the contrast, make it darker, make it lighter. There's all sorts of things before you get back to where you started with the first geo filter you had. So I'm going to get rid of that as well. So you see we've swiped through all the filters. Now there's another little trick with filters. You can use more than one at once. If I want to use Irvine and I want to put the time, I can select Irvine, and while I'm not touching the screen, I have Irvine there. Now you can't see this in the video necessarily, but I'm going to touch another finger on the screen, and I'm going to swipe once again. It skips all the other geo filters because you can only have one geo filter, but I could have the word Irvine and the time if I wanted to. Once I get that though, once I swipe, if I swipe it one time, I get rid of it entirely. So it allows you to customize your content and give people information that you want to give them. And you can do this in each and every photo and each and every video. Okay, so that was the filters. Now we have the decals. So I push that button in the middle at the top, the square button with the little, that looks like it's folded over just a little bit. Here's the emoji. Okay, now if I had Bitmoji installed on this account, which are avatars that look like me that are customizable, I have them on my other account on my phone. I don't have it on this iPad, but if I had Bitmoji, I would have all sorts of Bitmoji features here that would allow me to put things on the screen. For instance, if I want to use the smiley face with sunglasses, I can select it and I can put it right on the screen, and I can do whatever I want with it, okay? I can resize it by holding my fingers over top of it and spreading them, or I can shrink it down by holding my fingers over top of it and closing them up, okay? I can tilt it by twisting my hand while I'm touching the screen with 2 fingers, okay? I can do whatever I want with it. If I want to create my own custom filter, I can zoom in and zoom in and zoom in really, really far, and if you notice, I'm in the very edge of that filter or that emoji, and it's created a yellow haze over my face. I can keep zooming and zooming and zooming, and it's going to get more and more clear, but you get the point. I can create my own filter. Then I can squeeze my fingers together and zoom out and bring that emoji back down to size. And look, he's turned while I did that. So, okay, so I want to get rid of the emoji. You see at the top, that trash can that keeps showing up? If I've got my finger on the emoji and move it in the slightest, that trash can shows up. I can drag the emoji and drag it straight to the trash can and start fresh with a different emoji if I'd like. It's very easy to do. Get rid of that emoji. So there's all sorts of emojis. You can swipe from right to left. I don't know where that picture came from. Oh, that's about using the scissors. So if I want to try to use the scissor feature, I've never seen that little, I can create Bitmoji. It tells me how to do that, which is cool. And then there's other things that text and things that I can use if I want to. If I want to put, gluten-free or kombucha, or maybe if I want to give myself a beard. Let's try that. Give myself a beard. So I can, just like with the emoji, I can make it shorter or bigger or wider or whatever by squeezing it. So if I want to send that content, like I said, I push that story button. I'm going to get rid of that, though, because I don't want to do that. I want to show you how to use the text feature. Now, the text feature, you simply touch the T, and there's a gray bar there, a transparent bar, and you can type right in it. And I'm going to type my account. There it is. Okay? Look at that. Okay, and I can move that bar up and down. I can put it where I want to. I can't turn it sideways. It's up and down. But I can touch the T at the top again, and it changes the style of the text. And I can move that text. I can make it smaller. Just like the emoji, I can make it smaller and bigger. I can turn it sideways. I can zoom it in. I can zoom it out. I can do whatever I want with it. And then if I touch the text, the T again, it centers it. But from that, again, I can turn it and manipulate it any way I want to. I can change color by holding down on the text. If you hold down on the text, it brings up a color bar. And I have to hold down on it again, and I can hit Select All, and I can change the color of the text. And you can select individually a certain letter if you want, and change the text of one letter. It's very easy to do. And this allows you to customize and be creative with your content and do whatever you want with it and make it fun, make it colorful, make it enjoyable for somebody to see. So I'm going to get rid of that. Oh, to get rid of it, I have to hit that again, and I have to delete the text. You have to go back to the bar, and then you go in and you delete the text, and there it is. It got rid of it. Okay, now the drawing feature. This is the last thing. The drawing feature, you simply hit that little pen over to the side. You have the palette over here. It allows you to draw. I can use that little arrow button that goes up there to get rid of it. I can do multiple colors. I can do purple, I can do yellow, green, whatever I want to do. Every time I touch that button, that little backwards button, every time I touch it, it gets rid of a piece of content. Every time I take my finger off the screen and then start touching the screen again and drawing new content, each one of those is individually seen by Snapchat as a different piece of content. So when you hit that backwards button, so I do 1, 2, change colors. Every time I change colors, I got to move my finger. So when I hit that square, 1, 2, 3, it gets rid of them individually. So if you fill up your whole screen with drawings, you know, Snapchat will get rid of big chunks every time you lift up your pen. So if you leave your finger or your pen or whatever you're using on there for 10 minutes and you're scribbling all around, that's one big chunk for 10 minutes. And then if you just touch the screen for a quick second and leave a dot, that's its own individual piece of content for the erase feature. So it's very easy to use. And so whatever you create, I mean, you can mix these up. You can have the drawing, and then you can use that little arrow to go back to the main screen. Then you can have your text. So you can have your text, and you can configure that any way you want. You can have a decal. You can do what, I mean, all that stuff. Obviously, the word try is over top of the drawing and over top of the beard. And so there's an order of importance here. Words are on top. Drawing is over top of decals, and everything is over top of decals. So again, you can get rid of the try simply by deleting the word. You can get rid of the drawing simply by hitting the backwards button, and you can get rid of the emoji simply by dragging it up to the trash can. Okay, so let's really quick do a video. All those same features exist for your video. So I'm going to create a video. Look at that. Okay, so I created a real fast video. All the same features. And you can't hear the sound, but if you're going to preview the video until you send it or delete it. So it's going to replay the sound over and over again. It can be quite annoying when you're drawing on your video or you're adding decals or stuff. When you're new at it and you're not used to doing this and trying to figure it out, you might turn the volume down. Now, the thing is you want to turn your volume back up. Don't mute it or anything, because when you send it muted, or volume all the way down, I think it sends it without any volume to your page, so people won't be able to hear to your story, so people won't be able to hear what it is you're saying. But if I want to draw over top of my video, I can draw over top of my video, and it's there through the entire video. If I want to put text on my video, I can put text on my video, and it will be there through the entire video. Okay? If I I got rid of my video. Let me make another quick video real fast. Okay, if I want to put a decal on my video, I can put a decal on my video. And if I want to pin it, as you see, when it shows up on Wirecast, on my broadcast, you're going to see that it prompts you for the first time you've ever done it to pin it somewhere. So you can pin it somewhere. Like if I want to pin this emoji to the back of my chair, I can just hold my finger down on it and then release. And Snapchat works its magic, and it will pin that object to that place in time. So if your camera shifts around and leaves the chair, the emoji stays with the chair. It leaves the screen when the camera leaves the screen. So you'll have to play with that. It doesn't always work perfectly, but it's a fun feature. So I'm going to get rid of that emoji, throw it away. I'm not going to send this to my camera roll. And so we're back at the home screen. That really is all you need to know to get going on Snapchat. I will do more videos that talk about messaging. I mean, look, I've been teaching Snapchat for a year. There is a lot to cover, but that is the basics. If you need to get started today or want to get started today playing around, that gets you right out of the gate. That's all you need to know. So please leave a comment below, reach out to me, let me know what you're having problems with, what you want to learn about. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, give me feedback, let me know what you think. You can find me at Todd.LIVE right today. That forwards to divorcetheworkforce.com. But at the end of January, we're going to start building out my Todd.LIVE page, and I'm going to want you to join me there as much as you can. If you've been watching this on Facebook, thank you for watching. This was a live broadcast onto Facebook. I am uploading this to YouTube so people can watch this later and find it on YouTube. I think it's going to be a big help in getting people started out on Snapchat from scratch. So like, review, and subscribe on YouTube. Share it with your friends on Facebook. Encourage your friends to look at the video, family and friends who might be wanting to use Snapchat. I mean, this really gets you almost everything you need to know to just get started. Once you get started, things start coming together and making sense. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate it if you've stayed with me this entire time. We're at 50 minutes. We're almost an hour into this, but listen, folks, As always, stay productive, work hard, keep at it, and have fun.